When I was growing up, between the time I was in sixth grade and a sophomore in high school, I lived at a boarding school. Now, kids, that doesn't mean I just went to a Christian school like some of you do. It meant that I lived at the school, and so did all the other kids. And in my room where I slept at night, there were four other girls. And it was Florida. And Florida has saucer spiders. They're as big as this. They're harmless, but when they run across the window, you can hear their legs click. And I can't stand spiders. They just give me the willies. Well, the girls in the room knew that, and they thought one night it would be funny if they caught a saucer spider and put it down inside my shoe. Now, saucers also like the dark. So they put the saucer spider inside my shoe. The next morning when I got up, I picked up my shoe and out crawled the saucer spider and I went bananas. I completely lost it. I was hysterical. I ran down the hall, went into the only room that had a lock on the door, ran into the room, slammed the door, locked it, and stood on the bed and kept screaming. Well, the kid put the spider on the end of a broom, and there was about this much space between the door and the floor, and they stuck the spider on the broom inside the room. Now I'm locked in the room with the spider, and I'm hysterical. And the teacher comes running to the door, and she says, "Open that door, Joanie, right this minute." And I thought, I can't get off the bed. The spider's on the floor somewhere. But she insisted, and I got off the bed and unlocked the door. And she said, "Come with me." And she sat me down on the steps of the second floor, and she said, "Now listen to me, Joanie. If you don't get over this fear of spiders, it's going to send you to hell." And I thought, excuse me, that's a little desperate here. Saucer spiders and fear of them is going to send me to hell? And then she went on to explain. She said, "You see, Joanie, when you see a spider, you completely lose control. You no longer have control of yourself, and the old devil can get you to do anything he wants you to do. Now, if you don't learn self-control over the spiders, you won't have self-control over other things either." Well, I said to myself, okay, I'm bigger than the spider, I'm older than the spider, and I'm smarter than the spider. So from now on, it's not going to be me running from the spider. It's going to be goodbye spiders. Now, I grew up, and I went to the mission field, and I was in Haiti, and I was asleep in my bed one night, and the moon was shining through the window. And I woke up. Now in Haiti, they have tarantulas. And tarantulas don't kill you, but they're fuzzy-legged, and they don't run, they lope like this. And I was asleep in my bed, and I woke up and needed to go to the bathroom. Well, the moon was shining through the window and hitting the wall on the opposite side and lighting up the great, big, black, fuzzy-legged tarantula on my wall. And I thought, okay, if I get up, I'll block the light from the moon, and that shadow will make him run and hide, and I'll never find him. So I slid off the bed, grabbed my tennis shoe, slid along the floor, just crawled along the floor, got up to the wall where the spider was, picked up my shoe, bam! And I hit him so hard that he was imprinted on the wall, and they had to repaint the wall. Now, the next morning, I told the man who owned the motel, "You're going to have to go paint the wall in my room because there's a tarantula splattered all over it." And he said, "Oh, no, that tarantula was never supposed to leave the kitchen. He's my pet." And I thought to myself, he's your dead pet, brother, because he's finished. Now, later, I was teaching school, and the kids in school knew that I was scared of spiders. And we had blackboards in those days, not whiteboards. And the eraser was kind of propped on the side of the board, and I walked into the room, and these were high school kids, and I knew there was something going on because they were giggling and watching me and not talking to each other. And I looked, and I could see in the crick behind the eraser a spider. So I just walked back and forth a couple times, and the kids are all holding their breath, waiting for me to pick up that eraser, and I just went bam! And I smashed that spider on the blackboard. And his remains were left on the blackboard forever, too. Now, actually, I have learned a very good lesson. And the lesson is that I'm going to be the one who's in control. I'm not going to lose control and let the devil take over. And you know, kids, I harp on it all the time. I say, sit up straight, put your hands in your lap, and look straight at me. I want you to learn self-control. The Bible says that if you don't have any control over your own spirit, you're like a city whose walls are broken down. And that means that the enemy can come in anytime he wants to. You want to be sure that you have self-control so that the old devil can't get you like the spider got me.